This is a video that I never thought I would have to make. A couple of months ago, this was not even on my radar at all. Um, it's uh, it's not something that I wanted to do. Um, it's basically something I had to do, which I will explain to you in this video. This video is probably going to be pretty long. I want to keep it as unedited as possible to be as thorough and authentic as possible, but I probably will have to edit it down a little bit. Um, so let's go back to the start. I first went vegan in my early 20s after being vegetarian for a couple of years. I'm 53 years old right now. Uh, it was great for a while. Eating plant based worked fantastic health wise. I felt great. I had amazing energy levels. I led a very athletic lifestyle. Everything was great up until probably my mid 40s, around 7 or 8 years ago. Um, at that time, I began developing some very severe migraines. Um, I'm not just talking about like a small headache, like really bad migraines, throwing up continuously for days, emergency room visits. I would have double vision sometimes for weeks after a migraine attack, like totally wiping me out. Um, these migraines have continued pretty consistently. I've had times where I've had longer breaks than others, but they've continued for the past 7 or 8 years and they've actually ramped up and got even more severe, um, to the point where mid-April of this year, um, I started having a migraine attack, and it only just ended. So I'm talking 6 weeks of absolutely debilitating pain, discomfort. I could barely get out of bed for 6 weeks. Was pretty much in bed for that entire time. I could not work out. I could not walk. I did have a couple of days here and there where I felt okay and I could just function, but for the most part, it was very intense 6 weeks. On top of that, my mental health uh, took such a dive as well. Um, Aside from the migraines, I should actually talk about some other health issues I was experiencing over the last 1 to 2 years. I was actually having really bad gut health issues, like really bad, to the point where it would keep me up at night. The gas, the cramping, the pain, the constant movement of my stomach. It was like I just could not digest anything anymore. Um, Vegetables were not breaking down properly. Soy, gluten. I tried a bunch of things. I tried elimination diets. I tried going whole food plant based. I tried different probiotic protocols. I tried everything. And my gut was just so unhappy. Um, really bad. It was very extremely hard to deal with. I don't want to get into the details too much, but that was another thing I was experiencing. Um, Another thing I was experiencing over the last 5 years or so was anxiety and very low mood. I wouldn't say depression as such, but just kind of joyless. Um, so yeah, I just wanted to give you an update of where things are at. And I wanted to explain why I'm no longer vegan. Sounds very weird saying that after such a long period of time, but that's is what it is. um, so while I was very sick the last 6 weeks, it got to the point where I was just like, I need to take this into my own hands and work out a solution. I cannot live like this. As I said, um, I mean, I'm not going to say I was suicidal. That's way over the top. But there were days where I would not have been heartbroken if I did not wake up the next day. I was in so much pain. So I decided to start doing some research. I'm super into optimal health, longevity, biohacking, and being the best that I can be in middle age. So I started looking into the optimal diet to counteract migraines, to help with gut health. Um, Started just listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos, and really digging in deep. And the algorithm started bringing up a lot of the ex-vegan videos, which I'm sure you're aware of. I'd watched a bunch in the past, and probably like you're thinking about me right now, was just like dismissing them, like they weren't doing it right. They were never vegan in the first place. That whole thing. But being so sick, I started watching these videos through a very different lens. I was watching these videos and listening to their stories with empathy and compassion, and I realized that some of these stories were so similar to mine. Migraines came up a lot, uh, gut health issues, anxiety, depression, all of these things. And it was like, I can actually resonate with these stories. Um, and the amazing part about it is that a lot of them healed their issues. Well, all of them actually that I watched healed their issues by adding back in animal products. There were some actually, remarkable recovery stories. So, to cut a long story short, I decided to do an experiment and start by adding in some animal products a few weeks ago. Um, you're probably not going to like hearing this, but the difference was absolutely amazing, like night and day. The way I feel now compared to how I felt a couple of weeks ago is just insane. My gut health is almost completely healed. I have zero issues. Everything is just digesting so much better. Um, it's a little early to say about how it's going to go with my migraines, but I haven't had like even the slightest headache in the last couple of weeks. Um, and I just have this feeling of joy and life that has returned to me, I've got to say. Which is not to say I don't feel guilty about ditching veganism. Like I was committed to this cause. I was 100% committed to being vegan for life. But it got to the point where I had to choose my own health and well-being over veganism. I could not live like that anymore. Just a reminder, I could not get out of bed for like 6 weeks. And that's no way to live. Um, so I had to make a choice, and that is the choice that I've made. So I know a lot of you are going to be very upset with me. I know there's probably going to be a lot of anger. There's probably going to be the usual, you were never vegan anyway, you're just plant based. You should have tried more things. I tried everything. I tried everything except this angle. And this is what is working for me. So I understand that I'm going to lose a lot of followers from this. Um, that's just the way it is. I mean, I have to choose my health. And I'm sorry if this upsets you. And I'm sorry that you probably will stop unfollowing me because I know how the vegan community is. Um, so, yeah, that is it in a nutshell. And that is why I am no longer vegan. So, if you want to continue along this journey, stay on board, keep following me. If not, I'll see you later.